to come and talk about how to protect yourself in the midst of a smear campaign. Well, first of all, do understand that they launch smear campaigns anyway because they have that a narcissist. Now we're talking about a narcissist. You know, the narcissist launches a smear campaign anytime they feel that either one, they may receive a narcissistic injury. Number two, always to maintain their ego and their reputation and their facade. They always have to say something. They're the type, they try to think ahead of you. They try to think ahead of what you're going to say, what you're going to do. And remember, most of you have been involved with a narcissist, so that narcissist had the opportunity to study you. And so because that narcissist had the opportunity to study you, they kind of know how to play chess with you. In the game of chess, it's a game of strategy to outthink your opponent, right? And so they have been with you long enough, or they have studied you long enough to kind of know your moves. And so they're strategic in what they say and how they do what they do. And so do know that they'll you know, if you're the one who decided to discard that narcissist, you know, automatically be prepared. They're going to talk about you. They're going to smear your name to your friends, those people that are close to you, even your own children. They're going to smear your name with friends, family, acquaintances, anyone that they possibly can. What they say, who knows? You know, well, you know, he or she, you know, never forgave me, or he or she cheated, or he or she, whatever it is, you know, they'll come up with this elaborate story, and a lot of times they'll tell their story to them. So all the things that you have told them about themselves, all the things that they have done to you, they'll flip it and they will tell their story, meaning what they have done to you, to flying monkeys, to acquaintances, to their entourage, to people that are close, to people that were family friends, and anyone that will listen to them. And they talk about it all the time to make sure that they make you look bad. Now, then there is where they discard you. Now, of course, a narcissist never wants to look bad, right? Sorry, you guys. So a narcissist never wants to look bad. You know, anything that they do, you know, you've been a long-term primary supply, you have children, you've been with them for 20, 30, 15, 5 years, whatever, you know, they never want to make it look like that they're the ones making a bad decision, that the reason why they're leaving you has to stem from something. And of course, you know, it's going to stem from something about you that's not right, something about you, you know, everything is about you and how horrible you are, and you and you and you and you and you some more, you know, so everything is always about you. And so just be prepared, you know, and that's what I tell you, when you guys get involved with, or even your parents, you know, those that have parents that were narcissists or are narcissists, be prepared. They smear your name amongst the family. They always have something negative to say about you. Well, you know, he or she, now that they're doing this, or he or she, you know, they never had respect. And that was one of the hardest children that I have to raise. And they were always disrespectful. They were always, you know, especially if, and I'm going to talk about this in another video, especially if you were the scapegoat. The scapegoat normally is the child that won't stay quiet, the one that has behavior problems, the one that comes face to face with the narcissist, the one that won't stay silent, the one that won't keep quiet, usually is the scapegoat, and the one that's attacked by the narcissist, and the narcissist rounds up the family members to make sure that that scapegoat is attacked. That's the scapegoat. The scapegoat is the one that's not going to just not point out the pink elephant that's sitting in the middle of the living room. That's normally your scapegoat. That's the one that's normally attacked the most, because that's the one that won't comply with the narcissist. So that's the one that's usually smear campaigned as well. And so being smear campaigned, meaning that the narcissist has to maintain their reputation, and then their ego is very fragile, so they have to maintain that ego. They can't, ego. And they can't look bad in front of the friends and associates, especially some friends and associates knew the behavior of the narcissist. But the best weapon in the midst of a smear campaign, when you know that they're going to launch a smear campaign, and some of us just have that knee-jerk reaction that you have to defend yourself. Well, this is a good time to practice discipline, self-discipline, and temperance, because in a smear campaign, the best tool to use is the very same weapon that's used against you, which is the silent treatment. You know, the silent treatment, most of you guys, the no contact, but the silent treatment. You know, the thing about the narcissist, they use the silent treatment as a weapon against you to cause you to react, say something, run after them, break your silence, whatever whatever it is, and they use the silent treatment as a punishment. Well, this is your time to use the silent treatment to defend yourself. Being silent is a very powerful weapon. It can be used positively, or it can be used negatively. In the silent treatment is a time where you don't want to fall into the reactionary in other words, you don't want to react to the smear campaign, because then you're going to validate everything that they're saying about you. You don't know what they're saying. Remember, they're playing chess, and so they're anticipating your move. And so by anticipating your move, they're trying to cover all boundaries, all areas of what you may say, what you may do, how you have reacted in the past, what you have said in the past, and they use everything that they possibly can to smear your name. So to give the silent treatment is to throw the narcissist off kilter, to throw them off balance, because it's out of character for you not to say anything to try to defend yourself. Now, most of you have been in these relationships for a long time, and so you're always having to, sorry about you guys, my nose itching, there's fluff all in the air, but you know, most of you guys have spent so much time, whether it's with your parents, siblings, or with a loved one or someone that you dated, were married to, always having to defend yourself, especially because they gaslight all the time. And so you're constantly trying to defend yourself. You're constantly trying to prove your worth to, you know, the family members that were, or the mother and father that were narcissists, or the husband or wife that was a narcissist. You're constantly trying to defend yourself, to prove your worth, to show that you're worthy. I'm not stupid. I am smart. You're always trying to prove yourself to this individual, to try to gain their respect, you know, and so it doesn't change. You're still trying to prove yourself. And for them to start a smear campaign, they're starting wildfires everywhere. If you spend that much time trying to put out all these wildfires, you are really going to exhaust yourself and have a mental breakdown. And so I did find 2 websites, and one of them is Freedom from Narcissist and Emotional Abuse. And I was looking for the author, didn't say the author in here. But it's Freedom from Narcissistic and Emotional Abuse. That's what it is. Freedom from Narcissistic and Emotional Abuse. And it says why you should never defend yourself against a narcissist smear campaign. I don't have my glasses on. So let me just scroll down. Defending ourselves is a bad idea. And this is what this blog says. In normal situation where a person is talking bad about us, the first thing we want to do is rush to defend ourselves, right? You want to defend yourself. So a lot of times when you have a person that's talking about you, if you're a true friend, you'll bring that other person, you know, hey, you know, I don't like how this sounds. Let me bring you so that they can clarify, they can defend themselves. And so you bring that individual to your friend, whoever your associate is, and say, hey, they're having a problem. This is what's being said. So you have the opportunity to defend yourself. That is not true. This is where that stemmed from, right? That's the average relationships. So that's our natural tendency. Now, I'm not saying that if that narcissist is smearing your name where it becomes a legal situation, where it's beginning to affect your finances, begin to affect your reputation, meaning within the world of business. You know, people don't want to do business with you because they're smearing your reputation, and that's what they do. They smear your reputation. Then you have something that's called defamation of character. You know, then you may want to seek legal counsel to get information concerning defamation of character, because now it's affecting your livelihood. It's affecting your ability for employment, or it's affecting your ability to make money and to care for yourself or your clientele or your business, you know. So there's a difference. You know, if it gets to a point where it becomes a legality, go and speak to a legal counsel, a lawyer, to ask questions in reference to defamation of character, okay? Or slander. The other one is slander, you know, where they're slandering your name and it's causing some serious legal problems or financial problems. Go speak to an attorney. But the average, the way that they smear your name is friends and family, you know, children, loved ones, mothers and fathers, sister and brother, mutual friends that you had, business associates, you know. And so, and the thing is that we want to protect our good name, right? So it says there's nothing normal about a breakup with a narcissist. Absolutely nothing. They run their smear campaign fast and hard, sometimes even before the relationship is over, so they can get a jump start on ruining your reputation. Remember I said that they're players on a chessboard, and they always have to anticipate your move. And so they know that they're slowly starting to get away from you because they're about to discard you. So they'll start a smear campaign, and what they do is they build the road up, you know, they build that path to prepare themselves for the discard. discard. So they are assuming that they're covering every angle and every place that you may say something. They're covering themselves, so when they do the discard, they feel like they have covered a large area with friends and family, right? So they get a head start before they even discard you or you discard them. They feel the discard coming. They already are defending themselves and defending their reputation and defending their egos. So when we want to defend ourselves against a smear campaign, all it does is prove the narcissist's point. And remember, they're already trying to think. They're always thinking. They're thinking ahead of you. They're trying to prove the point that you're crazy because now you're defending yourself and now you want to tell everybody, they're telling everybody what you did to them. And they're taking your story and they're flipping the story around to make it seem like it's their story. They're the ones that was abused. They're the ones that had money stolen. They're the ones that had their children abused. They're the ones that were smear campaigned. They're the ones that weren't loved. Everything that they were doing to you that you have talked to them about and what they know that they're doing, they turn it around and use it to talk to people and smear your name. So by the time you say it, they've already have these people thinking that, and then the problem is he or she is going to try to use it against me, and everything that I'm telling you they're trying to use, they know exactly what they're doing. So now, this individual is going to use it against me and say that I'm the one that's doing it, but I've got proof and I've got. So now when you start defending yourself and start speaking up, they're trying to prove that you're crazy. You're bitter. So a lot of times they'll use the only reason why he or she is doing what they're doing is because they're bitter because I found someone else and I decided that the relationship was over. Well, the part that they didn't tell you was that was the side chick or the side dude, or that was the secondary source, and all the emotional damage they have done to you and your children and your household, and the money that they stole, and the psychological damage, and the post-traumatic stress, and the physical abuse that you've went through, and the fact that they've ruined your career and ruined your reputation, and now they just gave you silent treatment, discarded you and ghosted you, and just went and started a whole new life with someone as if your life never existed. So by the time you start speaking up, the first thing they'll say is the only reason why she's saying anything, or the only reason why he's saying anything, is because he's bitter because I said the relationship was over. It just didn't work. And now they're angry and they're retaliatory and they're bitter and they're vindictive, and all you ever want to do is bring me down. And so you don't even want me to have a normal life with anyone. You don't even want me to be happy because you're so miserable. So now you're attacking me. What? And this is all the things they've done to you. And you're like, what? And this is what they're telling people. They also will tell people that you're jealous, that you've moved on and you have a happier life, and that their life is going better than what it was with you, which is a lie. But that their life is so much better because, number one, they may have found someone that has more than what you have. They have more money than what you have. They have more prestige than what you have. Remember, they usually climb a ladder. Now, it doesn't matter. They can still get a fish-eyed fool and and get someone that looks like a straight mule, a donkey, so it doesn't matter because it'll still mess with your ego, and your self-esteem. But at the same time, they will get someone that may have more money, may have more prestige, they have climbed that corporate ladder, and they'll connect with that individual, and then they'll use that saying they're jealous because I moved on and I'm happier with this individual. Okay. We don't know how to let go. Another thing is like they just won't let go. They just won't move on. You won't move on. They won't move on. So they're smearing your name, telling people she just won't move on. He won't move on. He won't just leave me alone and let me be. That we're still in love with them. They won't move on. They're still in love. They just don't get it. I said it was over and they just won't leave me alone. But the part that they're not telling is that behind the scenes, they're still harassing you. They're still manipulating you. They're still hoovering you. They're still doing things to attack you. The new supply doesn't know, neither do all the people that they're smearing your name, that behind the scenes, they are still constantly harassing you, doing things to you in court, taking you to court, messing with your kids, hoovering you through your kids, hoovering you, everything that they can do to possibly punish you. That's what they're doing. That's the part of the story that nobody sees. So this is the part where you look crazy and they're wondering why, just like I said in the previous video, that they'll harass you and abuse you. But by the time the police comes to the house, guess who looks crazy? It's the person that's being abused, that is all out of character, and they're crying, they're screaming, they're for help. And the police officer, ma'am, sir, if you don't calm down, usually it's the ma'am, ma'am, sir, if you don't calm down, we're going to arrest you. You need to calm down. And then there goes the narcissist, full of you, calm, and like, see, See, but the person that's all out of control is the one that the police officer normally comes and arrests, right? They're normally the ones that's charged, and really it's not you. It was the narcissist that caused you to respond, to react, not respond, react that way. The only way to defend yourself, you might have heard of this before. This is what this says. The only way to defend yourself against a narcissist smear campaign is not to take part of it at all. You don't become a part of their smear campaign. You let them launch that smear campaign as much as they want to. They can dog you out. It doesn't matter. Remember, I did say, keep in mind, if it's a legality and if something dealing with legal, slander or defamation of character or anything that will affect your livelihood, your clientele, your customer base, your finances, you're not able, then that is a legal situation that you need to talk to an attorney. Find legal advice from an attorney. Normally, it doesn't go that far, but for some it does. Especially like those that are predominant within, if those of you that are predominant within your communities, they will smear your name or hold certain positions within your community, within your church, within the school district, within the hospital, and they launch a smear campaign that can ruin your reputation, that takes time. That's just like someone stealing your identity. It takes time to fix that. That's when you need to get a lawyer. And you need gag order, whatever you need to do. But remember, narcissists don't follow rules anyway. But your job is not to take part of the smear campaign, which is very hard for a lot of people to do because you want to defend yourself. So you stay silent. Say nothing to defend yourself. Be quiet. Do nothing to defend yourself. Be quiet. Unless, remember, it's a legal issue. Excuse me. You see, they expect a reaction from us. They want us to launch into a tirade. They want you to fight back. They want to punish you and they want to make you look stupid, right? By staying silent, we ultimately are creating a plausible deniability in the situation. We're denying the narcissist their smear campaign. So you're denying them the power that they want, which is the reaction that they get from you. When we rise above their nasty and vicious lies and go about living in a healthy manner, we're creating doubt in the outsider's mind. We are not giving any truth to what the narcissists are saying about us. Now remember, they're talking to people that you don't even know. But the more you talk, the more they talk, the more they smear your name, and the more you don't involve yourself in it. After a while, you have people that are of prestige, those people that are reasonable, those people educated. They'll begin to question that that's all you ever talk about. Every time something happens, that's all you ever talk about is the ex or the other person. I haven't heard anything from them. I haven't seen anything about them. I don't see anything on their Facebook. I don't see anything. So where are you getting? Okay, but after a while, and they never, because you won't respond or react. There we go. Because you will not react, it caused them to spiral out of control because they don't have the power or the leverage that they wanted to make you look crazy in front of people. And so people will begin to question them as to what are they saying is real. Some narcissists, even their friends and family, know that they're compulsive liars. Believe it or not, there are narcissists where people already know, close friends, acquaintances, business partners that have been around them long enough, family, friends that know without a doubt that the narcissist is a compulsive liar and dramatic, or how do the kids say it, doing the most. They know that they're doing the most, and 9 times out of 10, anything that they say, you got to question, you got to second guess it. But the more you stay silent without trying to defend yourself, the stupider they actually look in front of these individuals, because nothing that you're saying seems to be matching. Nothing that you're saying is going hand in hand. The reason behind the smear campaign is because they cannot let the truth get out about what they're really like, because they know that if you start talking, you'll tell about them. And some people trust you. Believe it or not, those of you that assume that everybody will fall for the smear campaign, and some do, that means you just have to cut them off. But there are some people that don't fall for it. And they'll ask you, or they'll talk to you, and they'll realize, I knew something wasn't right. There's 3 sides to every story. His, hers, or theirs, and the truth. But there's 2 sides to every story. There's 2 perspectives from every story. And some people are like, I don't know, that doesn't seem like the character of that individual that you're talking about. I'm telling you, this person has changed. And some people question it. When they talk to you, you'd be surprised. There are a lot of people that will believe you as opposed to deny the truth, especially if you stay quiet. You'll gain a lot of reputation and rapport with people, and they validate, and they talk to you, and you're like, That is so not true. You know how the individual is. And a lot of people that know how the narcissist is, they'll know all I have to do is ask her, all I have to do is ask him, you know, they'll let me. So you'd be surprised. But because you're paranoid a lot, you assume that everybody believes everything that the narcissist says. So be quiet, be cool. So let's see. So they want to scare us into silence so that we don't speak freely about what we endured. So in their minds, by destroying our reputation and credibility, they're essentially creating an atmosphere for themselves where they can keep getting away with their narc tactics. Why not? No one is there to stop them or create a reasonable doubt, right? Bottom line, but not outwardly defending ourselves against a narcissist smear campaign, we will end up letting them dig their own holes. All we have to do is stay silent and go about our lives. We move along in our healing path. We spend time with family and friends, having fun and enjoying life, and totally ignoring the narcissist. For some of you, it's hard, but totally ignore the narcissist. Stay off of their social media. A lot of times on their social media, when they're making these, is it called blanket statements or just these random statements? A lot of times, you know, they're talking to you because they know that you're looking at the Facebook page or their social media. Eventually, the mask will fall off and outsiders will begin to see the narcissist for who they are, for what they really are. And when that happens, I promise you the vindication that we will internally feel will be sweet. I know that staying silent will be difficult, but check this out. If the narcissist mask fell off with you, or if the narcissist mask always falls off. They can't hide. They're hiding in plain sight, but they cannot hide. They don't change. So no matter what supply they go to get fuel, or what supply they use, whether it's first supply, second supply, third supply, it doesn't matter what supply they go to, doesn't matter who they connect with, it doesn't even matter who they work with. Eventually, as you're around people long enough, their true nature comes out. The representative shows up, but eventually as you get to know them, their true character, their true nature comes out. So you get to see what this person is really like. And the narcissist has a serious character flaw, a personality disorder. It's disordered. It's not normal. So if they're not normal in the average relationship that they're in, they're also not normal, because remember, even in the clinical description of narcissistic personality disorder, it talks about problems with themselves, problems with people around them, internal conflict, you know. So they have problems in their life in general, and they have problems with people, connecting with people. And eventually the mask falls off, even amongst their flying monkeys, even amongst their family members, even amongst their entourage. People will see the type of character or the type of person that they really are. So as they're launching this smear campaign against you, it's just a matter of time that people will begin to doubt what they say, as long as you're not adding to it. You know, when you add to it and fight back, you know, it's like fighting fire with fire. You're dousing gasoline on the fire, and they keep on putting the fire on top of the gasoline. And so the best thing to do is to be silent and not defend yourself. I know it's hard. You want to defend yourself. Leave it alone. When it comes to your kids, you know, you answer those questions that your children have. And be honest, but be age appropriate. Some of them can't handle it because you're dealing with their parent. But be age appropriate, speak in the language that they can understand without jumping up and trying to kill the narcissist, you know, or try to ruin, because that's what they're expecting you to do, and that's what they even prepared the children for. You know, mom and dad always have something negative to say, and they do this and they do this. You have to prepare yourself. Now you have to play the game of chess with them to outthink them as to how they're playing the game. Don't fall into the game with them. Stay out of the game. Stay off the chessboard. Don't play. As soon as you make a move, they're cranking up in third, fourth, fifth, sixth gear, and they're taking off. You know, so hopefully this has helped somebody today as to how to defend yourself in the smear campaign. And remember,